Hey everybody, it's me, Rick Acosta, the Dodger Card Collector, coming to you with another video. Today is Friday, August 25th. Uh, what's going on? God, I feel like I haven't been in front of the camera for a while, but that's not true. But baseball season, we're finally heading into the home stretch, the final month of September. See how the races go. I'm noticing nowadays that it's not really a big deal, or no one's really watching who wins the division anymore. It's who's going to get the three wild card spots. That seems to be where the races are. I have no idea who's going to end up in those wild card spots. I honestly thought the Yankees would come back, and I don't know if that's going to happen. I thought the Padres would get their act together. I don't know if that's going to happen. There are some teams like the Cubs and the Reds that you're just like going, wow, they're actually doing things, which is great. Arizona ran into a bad losing streak, but they seem to be they're hanging on to a wild card spot as we speak. The Marlins are fighting up for a spot. Uh, I don't know what's going to happen in the American League West between the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. I still say it's going to be the Rangers in the end, but you never know. Angels got devastating news this week. Not only did Mike Trout end up back on the IL after playing only one game, Shohei Ohtani is out for the year as a pitcher. He's going to continue to hit. He tore his UCL. I just don't know how that affects his hitting. I don't know how that's going to affect his free agency next year. As a Dodger fan, I am kind of no longer interested in having him if he's not going to be able to. I don't know how long he was going to pitch and hit into his career. If you're going to sign him just as a hitter, that's great. Uh, I just don't see paying $500 million for a guy who might never pitch again. So we'll see what happens. I'm not the GM, so no one cares what I think. Just throwing that out there. Hobby wise, it's going to be busy. It's going to be busy for me, and I'm surprised because I'm never busy hobby wise. Burbank show is next week. I'm planning so far on attending Friday. We'll see how Friday goes. If I bought my ticket for Friday, I don't know if I'll be going Saturday yet. Gonna see how Friday goes, just because admission's $20, parking's $20. If I can do it all in one day, I will. If I feel the need to come back a second day, I will. Then the following week is the Long Beach show. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'll probably make a couple of appearances there since I live so close to the arena, or the convention center, I should say. So I'll take a look there. And then the following week, I am driving out to Palm Springs. There's going to be a show out there that I want to give a chance to, just because I've noticed the guys that put on the show also put on these shows in Northern California, and they seem to be pretty good. And they have some decent vintage, so I'm hoping that happens in Palm Springs. I see Jose Canseco is signing on Saturday. Grant Fuhr of the Edmonton Oilers is signing on Sunday. So I'll check that out. So it should be a busy 3 weeks. Going back to the Burbank show, I have some goals, and I hope to follow them. Just a heads up in case you are going, I have learned on Saturday, Fernando Valenzuela, Mike Scioscia, and Dodger rookie outfielder James Outman will be signing autographs. In case you're into autographs, I kind of would like to get Fernando and Scioscia. I have a Dodger wall right up there, and I don't have Fernando or Scioscia from that 1981 team. So I'll see how much they cost. I'll see what the line is like. We'll see. I have some goals. So let me see if I can remember this properly of how I'm going to do it. I'm really trying to prepare for these shows. I'm getting tired of going to shows and just saying, I'm looking for these 10 cards. I made my want list a lot bigger. If you're going to go to a show, you need to buy cards. So here's my game plan for the next 3 shows. And I'm going to break this out between graded cards and ungraded cards. Graded cards, I'm going to be looking for 1941 play ball. I am also looking for 1961 Topps baseball all-star cards, the high numbers. I need 6 more. If I can, also baseball wise, 1963, graded wise, guys like Mays, Clemente, Aaron, Mantle. See what I could find there. And then obviously just continue looking for some of the Dodger cards that I'm looking for. And if there's any Hall of Famers I could find at a good price. Also graded wise, I am continuing to look football at 1950 Bowman Los Angeles Rams cards. And if I see some 1949 Leaf or 1951 Bowman Rams cards, I will look for those as well. And I'm also open in basketball to looking for 1971, 72 Los Angeles Lakers graded cards. That's got everybody. 71, 72 has Chamberlain, Baylor, Jim McMillan, Happy Harrison, Jerry West, Gail Goodrich, Keith Erickson. And if I buy for the next season, I could get a Pat Riley card along with the NBA championship cards from the previous season. So I'm looking for those. So I'm trying to broaden my horizons a little in regards to looking for cards that just aren't baseball. So I'm really looking forward to that. Ungraded cards, I'm going to be working on my 1963 top set, which you guys saw videos of last week. Nothing's changed there. I have 330 cards. I'm hoping to find between like 90 and 120 common cards if I'm lucky. We'll see what this show's like. Like I said, I notice all these I notice all the card shows out east have all these vintage guys with cards, commons in binders. And I would love to see if that happens at this show. I know that Burbank's really trying to push this card show as a West Coast national. I'd like to see them get more vintage vendors. The last show had decent vintage, but you can never have enough vintage. So hopefully that happens. So as I mentioned, 1963 tops. Again, looking for Dodger cards and whatever else comes along. If some guy is selling a lot of 1962, 200 different 1962 cards, who knows? Maybe I'll buy them. So that's kind of what I've got going for the next 3 days. And my next video, I hope to make it a review. I hope to do it Friday night, make it a review of the Burbank show Friday night. So those of you that go on Saturday and Sunday will get an idea of what's going on out there. So what do we got going today? I've got some pickups, 1963 tops, 1941 play ball. I actually was able to pick up some. And I picked up something else that will surprise you. So let's move the camera and we'll take a look. Okay, first off tonight, I won a package from Mr. Greg Morris on eBay. Set builders, if you guys happen to build your sets, Greg Morris on eBay, he's really good. I've built a lot of sets through him. And I know some of you think he's expensive and all that type of fun stuff. But you know what? His cards are really nice. And if you're going to be building sets, I think he's your guy to go to. So I did something. What I did here was I bid. He had 150 different auctions for 1963 cards that I bid on. On purpose, I bid $2 on each little auction. And I ended up losing most of them. I was surprised because I thought I was going to lose all of them. And instead, I won, I think, 18 of them. So for an average of roughly like $1.43 a card. So let's take a quick look at these. This is my first time at looking at them. First up is Ernie Bowman. These are all commons, you guys. I'm pretty sure, I don't think there's going to be even anyone remotely famous in here. Bobby Bragan, the manager of the Milwaukee Braves. Let's see. I was going to say George Foreman. George Thomas of the Los Angeles Angels. I like the Angel caps back then. Bob Bolin, pitcher for the San Francisco Giants. Honestly, so far I've only heard of who Bobby Bragan. I only know who Bobby Bragan is. Julio Gauthier for the Pirates, shortstop. Steve Hamilton. of the Washington Senators. I wonder if this is the same Steve Hamilton that ended up with the Angels, the guy that beamed Tony Conigliaro in the eye. Here's a name I remember as the Dodger coach, third base coach, but he was a second baseman for the Giants, Joe Amalfitano. Some nice backs. Next up is another Los Angeles Angel, Leo Burke, infielder. Next up, Bill Fisher. This was the last year the A's would wear these colors. In fact, when you get to the high numbers, there's one card, Wayne Causey. He's the first A's card where they're now wearing the green and yellow uniforms that Charlie Finley brought over, or that brought with him when he bought the team. So that's Bill Fisher. Chuck Hinton of the Washington Senators. Russ Kemmerer, Houston Colt 45. Look at that. It says Colts. It's got a gun underneath. Imagine trying to get away with that now. I remember this guy when he was a pitcher. Eddie Lopat, Kansas City Athletics manager. I think he managed the A's for 2 years. Great pitcher, though. Late 40s, early 50s with the Yankees. Part of that big three they had. Here's another guy I know, Jim Gentile, first baseman of the Baltimore Orioles. Had a big 1961 season. I like the uniforms on this next card. Dave Stenhouse, Washington Senators. I know that stadium is not Yankee Stadium in the background. Wonder if that's the old RFK. Those bleachers do not look familiar. Dave Stenhouse. Another Houston Colt 45, Dick Farrell. Dick Farrell. Here's a guy I've heard of. Bounced around a little, but had some good years with the Phillies. That's Tony Gonzalez. I know at some point he also played for the Angels. Another guy I've heard of from the Los Angeles Angels is Albie Pearson. Albie Pearson. And the last card that I picked up from Greg Morris is Lou Krause, Kansas City A's pitcher. So I think I picked up 18 cards that roughly cost me about $1.40, $1.50 each, including tax and postage. So this brings up my 1963 series. The current stats is I have exactly 330 of them. Need 246 more. Let's see what I can do over the next few weeks at the Burbank show and the Long Beach show and the Palm Springs show. The goal is to try to get, this is a wide goal. I'm trying to get 50 to 100 cards from those three shows. Most of them commons, but if I'm lucky, if I can get someone like a Warren Spahn or an Eddie Matthews. I'm still debating what I'm going to do on the Hall of Famers in regards to, am I going to buy graded cards or am I going to buy ungraded cards? I'm pretty sure the Mantle, the Mays, the Clemente, for sure are going to be graded, but I can't tell you about anyone else yet, just because I'll have to see what happens if I find an ungraded version of it, and if it's a dealer or a card show that I trust enough to buy ungraded cards from. All right, let's move on. And I'm at it again. I bought another football card. What the heck am I doing? A 1950 Bowman, Dick Huffman. Huffman played 4 seasons for the Los Angeles Rams from 1947 to 1950. He then went on to the WIFU, and that was a precursor to the Canadian Football League's Western Conference, where he played for 7 seasons for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers from 1951 to 1955, and the Calgary Stampeders from 1956 to 1957. This is the part I love. While he was still playing pro football, he began a career as a professional wrestler in the off-season. And in 1987, Dick Hoffman was inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. And I picked this up as a 6.5. The Rams have 11 cards in the 1950 Bowman set, of which I now own 2 of them. I'm slowly going through and maybe one day finishing a set. Well, you never know. I mean, I was surprised when I bought the first card, and I'm pretty surprised I bought a second card, but I know I see some more in my future. So let's go over my 1941 play ball pickups. The first card here you see is Luke Hamlin in an SGC 6.5. I've had this card in my set for quite a long time. One of my goals of this play ball set was to enter it into the PSA set registry 100%, and in order to do that, I need to get all the cards graded by PSA. So this wouldn't qualify in the PSA set registry. So I picked up on eBay via Greg Morris a 41 play ball Luke Hamlin in a PSA 7. I've discussed Luke Hamlin before. He played on the Brooklyn Dodgers from 1937 to 1941. As this card mentions, he is called Luke Hot Potato Hamlin. This was because he was called Hot Potato because of his tendency to juggle the ball while getting ready to pitch. And as I mentioned, Hamlin played 5 seasons for the Dodgers from 1937 to 1941. His best year was in 1939 when he went 20-13 and had 10 complete games in 269 innings. Excuse me. Now, Hamlin's performance declined after 1940. Dodger manager Leo DeRocher lost faith in Hot Potato, who had blown a number of leads over the 1941 season. When Dodger boss Larry McPhail sent a messenger between games of a doubleheader telling DeRocher to start Hamlin in the second game, DeRocher erupted in anger. But he complied with the boss's order and started Hamlin, who promptly gave up 4 runs before getting an out and lasted only 2 innings. So that is Luke Hamlin. And this was a good card to pick up because not an easy one to find. The next pickup I picked up from All-Star Cards. You might have heard in my last video, I had a 10% coupon to use at All-Star Cards out of Overland Park, Kansas. They had this Lefty Gomez for several weeks, which I had been eyeing. And once I found myself with a 10% coupon, this brought the card down to a level where I felt I could put it inside my budget and add it to my collection. So this is my one and only Lefty Gomez card in my collection. He was a 5-time World Series champion with the Yankees, making his MLB debut with the Yankees in April of 1930. He was selected to as an All-Star every year between 1933 and 1939. His best season came in 1934 when he won 26 games and lost just 5. In both 1934 and 1937, he won pitching's Triple Crown by leading the league in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. And he also led the American League both seasons in shutouts. Gomez won 6 World Series games without a loss. As of 2021, this is a postseason record as well as a World Series record. Now, Lefty was named El Gufo and Goofy Gomez. He was known for his sense of humor, even on the field. In one game, he came up to bat when it was slightly foggy. Bob Feller was on the mound, and Gomez struck a match before stepping into the batter's box. "What's the big idea?" asked the ump. "Do you think that match will help you see Feller's fast one?" Gomez replied, "No, I'm not concerned about that. I just want to make sure he can see me." In 1940, Gomez suffered an arm injury, which left him up for grabs by another team. But in 1941, he played fairly well for the Yankees, winning 15 and losing 5. On February 2nd, 1972, the Veterans Committee unanimously inducted Gomez into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. The committee noted that Lefty pitched in 7 World Series games with no losses and 6 wins. Wearing a Yankee cap, Gomez became the second player of Hispanic descent to be inducted. The 1983 Major League Baseball All-Star Game was dedicated to Gomez. as he was the last surviving player from the 1933 All-Star Game. He also threw out the ceremonial first pitch. And lastly, on August 2nd, 1987, he and Whitey Ford were honored with plaques to be placed in Monument Park at Yankee Stadium. And that is Lefty Gomez. Love having him in my collection now as well. I have a feeling this will be my only Lefty Gomez in my collection. And I'm back. I realized after I recorded the Lefty Gomez video that I didn't leave you guys with a proper goodbye. So, just a heads up, 1941 play ball. I need 15 more cards to finish the set, and we'll see what happens over the next coming weeks with the shows coming up for Burbank, Long Beach, and Palm Springs. We'll see what happens. But thanks for sticking around with me this long. We'll talk to you next week.